And how are these reforms affected the co-op? You're showing me some figures there before.
Yeah, we've had a massive downturn. Look, the fishermen have had a downturn, so the co-op's had a downturn. Many species, blue swimmer crabs massively, 127 tonnes our best year 3 years ago, and this year so far we have got a few months to go, we're only at 9 tonne, and that's purely due to the size of the blue swimmer crabs.
So that's a new introduced restriction.
They changed the legal size from a 6 centimetre to a 6.5 centimetre, and we just don't get the big crab in this lake, so we're fighting at the moment to bring that down, so we don't totally destroy the industry and destroy the fishermen and the co-op.
Yeah. So to the average person on the street, people would think, oh, that's a good thing, like increasing the size of the crab that you can catch. Like, can you explain to those people like why that's just not realistic?
So there wasn't really any explanation as to why the size was to go up. Recreation guys still have the 6 centimetre limit, and we moved to the 6.5 centimetre, which doesn't make any sense. You would think if it needed to go up that you'd increase it for recreation guys as well as the commercial. And it's just meant that size is just unattainable in our lake. The fishermen have almost given up, spending the money on bait, on fuel to get up there to put their traps in the water, because they just can't catch them. They're throwing all of the crabs back because they're just not quite at that size.
And tell us about how the quota system doesn't work in this fishery or any fishery.
Yeah, look, quotas has worked in some fisheries. The lobster guys went to quota quite a few years ago. They were in decline massively, and they needed to do that. The quota system that's gone here with the blue swimmer crabs alone and the mud crabs, to start with, they haven't gone with catch history. So all of the quota that got issued was issued to everyone in the state instead of going to the guys that actually legitimately caught it, and that's what happened with the lobsters. So lobsters went to catch history. So it's interesting that they wouldn't allow us to have catch history with the blue swimmer crabs and the mud crabs, and now when it's come down to the ocean trawl, also with the hand gathering, they've now chosen that they're going to give them quota on catch history. So we don't understand why at the time they chose not to. It's a little bit unfair because we split all of our catch with the whole state, and the solution was, well, our guys can just lease that quota back off everybody else, but it's their kilos to start with. They should have been entitled to it.
And how is the co-op going to sustain itself if fishermen aren't, bringing the produce in?
Look, we've got a strong board of directors, and we're just making decisions as we go, each month, each week. Look, staff will be affected, fishermen are affected. We've just got to make some big decisions and just make sure we're here for the fishermen. In the long run, the fishermen, it's the fishermen's co-op, and there needs to be a facility here for the fishermen. In what state that exists, well, we're not sure what it'll come down to in the future. But look, it's going to be scary. It may not exist as people know it now. So yeah.
So you know the fishermen quite well in this area.
Yep.
And you've been working for this co-op for some time. So what have you noticed, have been the main changes, like in them and how it's affected them?
In them, definitely mental state has 100% changed. I've been here for 10 years now. I'm fourth generation fishing family, so I've been around fishing all my life. To see what fishermen are going through now, the heartache and just the despair that no one seems to listen, that's definitely been it's been a massive thing for them, because they just don't seem to be able to get anyone to understand. It just seems the powers to be just make their decisions, and that's been the hardest thing, the emotional state of the fishermen. We're really lucky here at the co-op. We have a really good group. We're like a little team, and everyone sticks together, but if someone's doing it a little bit hard, everyone will try and help that fisherman, but it's hard when everyone's doing it just as hard. So
And it's a complex issue, but what are the main things you'd like to impress on the public, I guess, and how they can support commercial fishermen?
Look, I think people need to understand that they can't take for granted. That's the biggest thing, that just because you've always been able to come and buy a certain fish or a certain species of prawn or crab, the price has increased rapidly. People have definitely noticed that in the last 6 months. Prices have gone up because they're not allowed to catch so much. It's been really quite tough to have the negative impact from the community on, why am I paying this much for my prawns, or why am I? And it's because the fishermen still need to return their dollar to make their living, and the fishermen, they're struggling. So they want to make sure that if they're only catching one little box of product, they want to return a good price. They've got a family. Once upon a time there were cheap species. I don't know if that's going to be there, but it's really important to still support the local fishermen because it's their blood, it's their livelihood.
Yeah.